It's a lifelong activity. If you stop with it, you get cataract. Blood, a fluid. Blood is not a fluid. Blood is a tissue. It's a primary tissue. Blood is fascia. Do you know that? It's the primary tissue you develop in your body when you're 3 weeks old. I cannot talk about it. Come to Prague in October. I will tell you. Blood is a tissue. It's fascia. And it becomes a fluid tissue. A tissue that can function as a fluid. How? It makes canals, capillaries. And then you get an organ that can behave like a fluid and can connect all the organs with each other and mediate between the organs. When blood comes in evolution, you see that the animals can become larger because blood creates innerness and shapes space between the organs. But don't think simply that the blood is a fluid, that we can replace the blood by a sac of plasma. And that can save human beings does not mean that you are right by saying that blood is simply a fluid. No, blood is a tissue that can function as a fluid. That you can replace your lens by a plastic lens and that it works does not prove that your lens is a plastic organ, is it? It proves that your lens is a lifelong activity to behave like a piece of plastic, and that means to create transparency. Your body is a performance. Your body is a lifelong activity that never stops. Your brain might function as a computer, but it can't be a computer. Because it's continuously there's change and transformation in the synapses and the networks of your brain. It cannot be a hard disk. It's nonsense. So the body as process. Look at the slide. The body as a process, as a performance, gestalten. And we call that autopoiesis. You made yourself. Every organism is shaping itself. So it's important that you realize that you do not come from the cells and the organs of your body. You are not a Lego package where you take the organs and the elements and then the organ is built up from them. That was the lie of the anatomist. I also had to teach it. Can you have a camera? Because otherwise you don't see that I'm trying to convince you of something. I mean, I was a teacher 40 years, and I had to teach my students that the body is built up from the organs. If I should not do that, I would be fired. Because that was the rule. The rule is that we all think that a human body, a living body is built up from the organs where the anatomists have dissected it in. That's what anatomists did. They dissected, they analyzed the body. And with our anatomical mindset, we all have now an anatomical mindset, we see the parts and we think that the whole is built up from the parts. It never happens. In living nature, in the embryos, in living organisms, it never happens that you start with the parts, that you start with the cells, and that from the cells and from the parts and from the organs, a whole is built up. That is not how it works. And that's why, let's go back to the slide. That's why the question of the child is so important. The child that asks, Mommy, where do I come from? They most of the time ask if they are mother. And mother could tell the story of the stork, but very soon the child will understand that that cannot be true. So mother tells a story of, you come from my belly. There are many children that don't believe that. And they ask their mother, where was I before I was in your belly? Or how did I come into your belly? That you have to ask Daddy. And then they go to Daddy and he tells the story of the sperm and the egg. And that the sperm cell fertilized the egg. It's also a biological lie. I've never seen that happen. That sperm cells fertilize eggs. But okay, that's the idea. And that men make women pregnant. It's a lie. It's a biological error. Men do not impregnate women. Women become not pregnant from a man. They become pregnant from their child. But that's other biology. I talk about it in Prague in October.